Now, this is a half a mile away from where the boy was reported missing at 11:15 last night. Now, due to the cold conditions and the snow that you can see here behind me, this was an immediate search and rescue. I'm outside the Old Navy on Missouri Boulevard, where Eric Spencer's friends and family are gathering for the second vigil since he was shot and killed on November 1st. The Madison Street parking garage that you can see right here behind me has stood in Jefferson City for the past 60 years. Now a convention center will be built in its place. House decks have officially started behind me, and the crowd is starting to get into the homecoming spirit. As many of you might know, this event is not just for MU. The entire Columbia community can come and enjoy homecoming at Mizzou. Season ticket holder sections expand both within the gold and pink sections. Students are also gaining 2 sections in the top section in teal, and visitors are losing 4 sections in gray. The middle section with that gold, they're the ones seeing the biggest change in price this year. The main difference that you'll see between the old firehouse and the one that's behind me is that there is now a contamination zone. This white section of the building, that's where the firefighters can actually rinse off the contaminants from their gear. On this brick side of the building, that's where the residents live. The 4 bay doors where their fire trucks will stay, that's the warm zone that'll separate the contaminants. A nearly $5 million project set to make life easier for the volunteers.
So they grabbed that off the printer on their way out the door to the fire truck. Once they come out here into the bay, they make a turn into here, which is where their gear is going to be.
And safer for the residents who live where they work. The main difference that you'll see between the old firehouse and the one that's behind me is that there is now a contamination zone. This white section of the building, that's where the firefighters can actually rinse off the contaminants from their gear. On this brick side of the building, that's where the residents live. The 4 bay doors where their fire trucks will stay, that's the warm zone that'll separate the contaminants. It has a training tower for running exercises that's more convenient for other stations, not just Station 8.
Somewhere closer for them to go if they want to do some ladder work or they want to throw ladders. They can do that without having to go clear up north.
It also has private hotel-like rooms for privacy and comfort for residents. 6 beds and an additional guest room.
We didn't build a Taj Mahal, so to speak. We built a very functional, very economic.
Its mission is to help provide career skills to at-risk youth. But in 2028, JobPoint is set to lose federal funding. A $1.5 million grant from the Department of Labor will go away, meaning JobPoint would have to stop its programming.
We found out that we were on our last federal grant. We knew we had to come up with a solution to save the program.
The solution, Columbia's first charter school. JobPoint already provides an alternative way for students to earn the equivalent of a high school diploma through the Mo Options program. The students learn workforce training skills as well.
We believe that the charter school, the public school model is a really good fit for what we do.
The idea for that model became possible after the 2024 Missouri legislative session. A law passed allowing charter schools to expand into Boone County. They previously had only been able to operate in St. Louis City and Kansas City. Charter schools are independent of public school districts but also receive public funding. 63% of CPS's operating revenues comes from a combination of local property and sales taxes, with 31% coming from the state and 5% from the federal government. With an additional school entity, the money will have to be split between the charter school and CPS.
There's just less money coming in, and all the same things that we need to provide now, we have to keep doing with less.
CPS says raising property taxes is the only way the district could continue providing the same services. If no change is made, services will have to be cut. CPS says the cost per student in the district will also increase. By how much, we don't know. Kansas City Public Schools operate similarly to CPS and also have a charter school that functions similarly to JobPoint's predicted model. But it costs more money to educate each student in charter schools than it does in public ones. For instance, in Kansas City, education costs more than $3,000 more per student in charter schools than it does in public ones. Waters says that will be the case in Columbia, too.
And that's because of charters. It costs more to educate students when there's a charter environment.
JobPoint aims to finish its application by January 31st, so its charter school can open for the 2027 school year.